Yeah. Hi, my name is Nicolas Garcia. I am the chair of the Latino Latina Coalition for the 2015 year.
Okay, you have a whole year ahead of you. So tell us, what are 3 things that you want to do?
Yeah. So one of the big things we want to work on this year is unity amongst the Latino groups. We've been doing a pretty good job in the last year building unity across the 5B, but we want to make sure that we're still focusing on Latino groups and make sure that we're having connections built between our groups and our groups are wanting to work together and holding events. The second issue that I really want to touch on is the faculty diversity. This year we learned that to do faculty diversity we wanted to go through, we can't just go through the administration, we have to go through the deans of the different departments. So we want to work on having specific campaigns to work on each department that we feel should have more Latino students, more Latino faculty, and more Latino faculty and minority faculty in general, and working with the 5B on that initiative. Another thing I really want to touch on is pushing out into the Latino community in Philadelphia, and engagement is something that we haven't really worked on in the past, but it's something that we really should, with over nearly 50% of Latinos in Philadelphia in poverty. We want to make sure that we are being able to help our community here in Philadelphia that desperately need help from Penn students and students in general in college.
Okay, great. So what is one thing that you think this year's board did well?
I think we did really well in working with the 5B. We really built our connections. We have a strong connection with the other 5B organizations, and working on building our outreach to other organizations that aren't in the 5B through UA steering and through some of our work on the UC Council, University Council.
Yeah.
So we really want to continue that work, and we think that, I feel like that was a really good job that the current chair and vice chair did, as well as other members of our board.
Okay. What is one area that you think you guys could have done better in?
I think just being a little bit more transparent with students, transparent with the Latino students in our organizations. We want to make sure that we're having them receive the information that we're doing, and make sure that they understand the work we're doing, so we get the proper feedback and the proper direction from what they want us to do. The LC is a very democratic organization, and we want to make sure that they have as much voice in the process as possible in the work that we do, as we represent all the Latino students at this university.
Do you think a lot of the Latino groups under the coalition were aware of the work that you guys were doing?
Yeah, so it's been somewhat of an issue. They knew we were doing work, and they knew we were having these meetings, but they didn't know the exact things that were going on, and they didn't know the follow-ups that we would have. So we want to make sure that we're having that kind of dialogue with them, and make sure that they have the information to have, if they have questions about what we're doing, or if they want us to go in a little bit of a different direction, they know what that direction is because they have all that information. Just giving more information to the group so they know what's going on.
Okay. And finally, what's one thing that you want the student body to know about the LC?
Yeah. The Latino community at Penn is a very diverse community. We represent many different individuals from all across the Americas, both domestic and international students, and many diverse cultures. There's a pan-Latino culture, but but there are specifics to each one. Each culture is a little different, and we represent all different types of people. There's not one characteristic of what is a Latino.